Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to start chapter number 5, part 6, Genetic Diversity, Definition, Nature and Origin of Genetic Variations. So, first we see Introduction and Definition. All organisms on Earth contains gene, and the genes varies between species. A variation could be in alleles, in entire gene, or in chromosomal structures. Genetic diversity refers to the variation of genes within species, or it can be defined as the sum of genetic information contained in the genes of organisms. In other way, it is defined as the total number of genetic characteristics in the genetic makeup of species. It can also be defined as any variations in the nucleotides, genes, chromosomes, or other entire genome of organisms. Each species is having an enormous amount of genetic information which is expressed in phenotypic forms. Hence, no two individuals of species are genetically and morphologically identical. Every individual is unique because of their distinctive genes. The number of genes ranges from about 1,000 in bacterium, 10,000 in some fungi, to more than 4 lakh in many flowering plants. Genetic variation is a measure of the genetic differences that exist within a population. The genetic variation of an entire species is often called genetic diversity. Genetic variations are the differences in DNA segments or genes between individuals, and each variation of gene is called as allele. Genetic diversity is a resource for the species, one survival and future evolution, and also promotes selective breedings. The global pool of genetic diversity imbibes all the information relevant to all biological structures, functions and processes. Then we must know that is nature and origin of genetic variation. So here genes are blueprints of all living organisms, and these genes consist of discrete segments of deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA. DNA is a linear molecule composed of sequence of 4 different nucleotide base, that is adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine. All observations variations are invariably due to variations in the sequence of the 4 base pairs of the DNA molecules. The pool of genetic diversity of species can exist at 3 different levels. First level, that is genetic diversity within individuals of called heterozygosity. Second, that is genetic diversity among individuals within a population, and third is that genetic variations among populations. Therefore, the genetic diversity can also be defined as the heritable variations observed within and between the populations of organisms. Genetic variation is the variation in alleles and genes, both within the among populations, or it is the differences in DNA sequences between individuals within a population. Genetic variations confers fitness advantage upon the members of a population. Genetic variations may be due to variety and complexity of habitat where the organisms adopt and evolve with the environmental changes and presence of natural selections. Therefore, genetic diversity is a key components for conservation of diverse biological resources. Genetic variation is caused by mutation, random mating between organisms, random fertilization, then recombination, crossing over between chromatids of homologous chromosomes during meiosis. Okay. Then after that we must know that is mutations. Mutations are the original source of genetic variation. A mutation is a permanent alteration to a DNA sequence. Mutation may be beneficial to the organisms, harmful to the organisms, or neutral. New genetic mutations can arise in individuals of a species by gene and chromosomal mutations. There are two types of mutations, that is germline mutation and somatic mutations. The germline mutations can be transmitted and occurs during spermogenesis, oogenesis, whereas the somatic mutations can accumulate in cell and are mostly harmless. They can lead to the local changes in tissues and can also have more serious effects leading to abnormalities. Then random mating between organisms. Random mating maintains the level of genetic variations in the population. Then random fertilization. Through random fertilization, more possibilities are for genetic variations exist between any two individuals than the number of individuals alive today. Sexual reproduction is the random fertilization of a gamete from the female using a gamete from the male. Then we must know that is recombinations. So here that recombination is another major source of genetic variation. Each organism has a mixture of genetic material from their parents. The mixing of genetic materials occurs during recombination when homologous DNA strands align and cross over. Recombination effectively shuffles maternal and paternal DNA, creating new combinations of variants in the daughter germ cells. There is loss of genetic diversity due to some natural and anthroponic factors like habitat destruction, fragmentation, and environmental trace line pollution, and increasing shifts in a global temperature. This tends to reduce population size of plants and animals. Potential genetic risks are associated with a small population size. Okay. Then after that there is the next point, that is species diversity. So we must see in species diversity, that is definition, origin of species diversity, diversity indices, and species abundance. So first we see introduction and definition. Evolution is the process through which the characteristics of a species change over time, which can ultimately cause new species to arise. Therefore, in nature, the number and kinds of species as well as the number of individuals per species vary. It leads to gather diversity, and further, not all species of community are equally different. Species diversity refers to the variety and number of different species in a given time and space. Species diversity is a term used to define the different numbers of species in an area and its abundance and the distributions of these species in that ecosystems. It's a measure of the variety in the ecosystems. Therefore, it can be said that species diversity is a function of species richness. The number of species in a given locality and species even less the degree to which the relative abundance of species are similar. Species diversity is the number of different species that are represented in a given community. Species diversity is the variety of species within a habitat or region. Some habitats such as tropical forest and coral reefs are having many species, whereas other habitats such as salt flats or polluted streams have fewer. Species diversity is defined as the number of different species present in an ecosystem and relative abundance of each of those species. Diversity is the greatest when all the species present are equally abundant in the area. Okay, then next we must see that origin of species diversity. The origin of species diversity is one aspect of the evolution of ecological communities. Charles Darwin put forth the idea of origin of biodiversity through natural selections. In the geological past, natural selection is the process through which populations of living organisms adopt and change. Individuals in a population are naturally variable, meaning that they are all different in some ways. This variation means that some individuals have characteristics better situated to the environment than others. Individuals with adaptive characters that give them some advantages are more likely to survive and reproduce. These individuals then pass the adaptive characters on their next generations. Okay, then next, that is the diversity indices. Diversity indices are the statistical measurement of species diversity in a community. Diversity indices provides more information about community composition than simply species richness. They also take the relative abundances of different species into account. It provides information about rarity and commonness of species in a community. The ability to quantify diversity in this way is an important tool for ecologists trying to understand community structures. Okay. Diversity measures takes into account two factors: species richness, that is number of species, and evenness, that is how equally abundant the species are. Although diversity is one of the central themes of ecology, there has been considerable discretion about some measures of diversity are frequently seen as indicators of the well-being of ecological systems. In general, it is agreed that high species diversity indicates more complex and stable habitat. Then we must see that species abundance. Here, species abundance is the number of individuals of a species in a given community, whereas the relative species abundance is a proportional number of individuals of each species in relation to total number of individuals of all species at a given space and time. Abundance is a numerical characteristics. Abundance is the relative representation of species in a particular ecosystems. A community can be described as a group of interacting species populations occurring together in a space. Abundance is defined as the measure of the number or frequency of individuals of the same species, whereas diversity demonstrates the number of species present and their abundance in an area or in community. Two communities may be equally rich in species that differs in relative abundance. These components of species diversity respond differently to various environmental conditions. A region that does not have a wide variety of habitats usually is a species poor. However, the few species that are able to occupy the region may be abundant because competition with other species for resources will be reduced. Then after that we must see ecosystem diversity. Their definition, major ecosystem types of the words. First we see introduction and definition. The diversity at the ecological or habitat level is called as ecosystem diversity. It is also called ecological diversity. Ecosystem diversity is a type of biodiversity at a larger scale and is the highest level of biodiversity. And ecosystem is a unique combination of plants, animals and microorganism communities in a specific natural setting and their non-living physical characteristics interacting as an functional unit. So it includes both biotic and abiotic components that makes it different from genetic and species diversity, and it incorporate habitats, community diversity and functional diversity. It includes the variations in both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems found in a region, that variations in ecosystems over the whole planet. It can be defined as the community along with its physical environments that it occupies at a given time. Ecosystem diversity deals with the variations in ecosystem within the geographical locations and its overall impacts on the environments. Ecosystem diversity is always in a dynamic stage because the species composition changes constantly. It takes into account the variations in the complexity of biological community, including the number of different niches, the number of trophics, levels and other ecological processes. The examples of ecological diversity on global scales would be the variations in ecosystems such as desert, forest, grassland, wetland and oceans. And ecosystems can exist at any scale from the size of the paddle to the size of the entire biosphere. However, forest, grassland, wetlands and lakes represents more complex and typical examples. Okay. The ecological diversity is established through the process of evolution and environment selective pressures within the different niches. The major ecosystems of world like tundras, rainforest, coral reefs and deciduous forest all are formed as a result of evolutionary process. The next point, that is the major ecosystem types of the words. The ecosystems are comprises The ecosystems are primarily classified into two types based on the broad habitats. They occupy the medium of growth, that is water or land, dominant type of environments and dominant type of species presence. These two types are terrestrial ecosystems and aquatic ecosystems. Terrestrial ecosystems are land terrain based, while aquatic are water based. The major types of ecosystems are forest, grassland, desert, tundras, freshwater and marine. Terrestrial ecosystems can be of forest, grassland, desert, mountains, etc. Whereas aquatic ecosystems can be of water bodies like ponds, lakes, wetlands, rivers, deltas, seas, etc. For these ecosystems, we have to understand their nature, structure, and functions. There are some physical factors that governs the ecosystems, which includes temperature, precipitation, topography, geographical barriers, light, atmospheric gases, and fires. The biotic interrelationship and interactions within their surroundings environmental also helps in shaping the ecosystem diversity and its species composition. Okay, then after that we must see that is the terrestrial ecosystems. Terrestrial ecosystems are characterized by low water availability and greater temperature fluctuations on both a diurnal and seasonal basis. There is greater availability of atmospheric gases and light in terrestrial ecosystems as compared to the aquatic ecosystems. The availability of light is greater in terrestrial ecosystems than in aquatic ecosystems because the atmosphere is more transparent than water. The gaseous availability in terrestrial ecosystem includes carbon dioxide that serves as a substrate for photosynthesis, oxygen that serves as a substrate in aerobic respirations, and nitrogen that serves as a substrate for nitrogen fixation. Based on the predominant type of species and climatic factors, the terrestrial ecosystems are subdivided are as following types. That is forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, tundra ecosystem, desert ecosystem, cropland ecosystem. So first we see the first point, that is the forest ecosystems. A forest ecosystem is a natural assembly of the communities of plants, animals and microbes in interactions within the chemical and physical factors of their environment. The forest ecosystem is predominated by trees growing in a closed canopy. Forest ecosystem is a functional unit of nature. A forest is a large and complex ecosystem and has greater species diversity. Being a complex ecosystem, it is more stable. The example of forest ecosystems are tropical forest ecosystem, temperate forest ecosystem, taiga forest ecosystem, etc. Then second type, that is the grassland ecosystems. Grassland ecosystems are areas covered by grass dominated vegetations with little or no tree cover and include meadows, steppes and grassland grazed with a variability intensity. It is also defined as an open area of land where the vegetation is dominated by grasses and other herbaceous plants. The predominant forms of vegetation are grasses with few or no trees. Therefore, grasslands are called transitional landscape because there is not enough or too much for a forest. The grassland often lies between forest and desert. Grassland grows in that the areas where there is a less moisture in the soil. The grassland ecosystem consists plants that do not grow much or remain shorter in height. Okay. Then tundra, third type, tundra ecosystem. The tundra ecosystems are tree-less polar desert regions found in the high altitude Arctic and on the top of mountains where the climate is cold and windy and rainfall is scanty. The word tundra literally means barren, treeless land. Tundra region has extreme seasons of dark freezing winter and short summer that are not much warmer. Very few species of plants and animals can survive here. Tundra is primarily seen in Alaska, Canada, Russia, Greenland, Iceland, and Scandinavia, as well as sub-Antarctic islands. Okay. Then fourth type, desert ecosystem. Desert ecosystems are the areas of land that are arid or dry and get less than 10 inches of rain per year. It can be simply defined as a place that receives less than 10 inches of rain per year. These areas can be covered by sand, rock, snow, and even ice, and they do not support a lot of plant life covering the land. This ecosystem, which covers 14% of Earth's land surface, is actually a reservoir of rich and diverse flora and fauna. Plants have evolved many adaptations for survival. The regions of the deserts. There are three life forms of plants that are adapted to desert ecosystem, that is ephemeral, annuals, succulents, and desert shrubs. Desert can be divided into two main types, that is hot and cold. The hot deserts are warm year round and very hot in the summer. During the day, temperature often rises very high, almost 500 Celsius in the evening, and temperature drops sometimes below freezing. Much of the time rain does not fall, but when it does, it is only for a short amount of time. The ground is usually rocky or sandy. Most of the hot deserts in the world are located just north and south of the equator, whereas it is the hottest. The largest hot desert is the Sahara Desert in North Africa. Then cold deserts are cool year around with the very cold temperature in the winter. Temperature in cold desert are often below freezing. Heavy snow happens during the winter, with most of rainfall happening during the spring months. The ground can be solid ice in colder temperature and rocky or spongy soil in middle temperature. The cold desert of the world are mostly located on the coasters near the ocean and closer to the north and south poles. The largest cold desert and the largest desert in the world is the continent of Antarctica. Then last, cropland ecosystems. This is man-made ecosystem. Cropland can be understood as land with regularly or recently cultivated agricultural, horticultural, and domestic habitats. Human beings are always interfering in the nature through alternation of the natural ecosystems for the cultivation of crops of his interest. This is for getting maximum benefits out of this. A crop ecosystems may be illustrated different crops and cropping patterns. The cropland ecosystem has three components like all natural ecosystems, that is producers, consumers, and decomposers. Cropland ecosystems not only provides people with grains, vegetables, fibers, etc., but also plays an important role in air regulation, soil, water, and conservation, environmental decontaminations, etc. However, it also has negative effects on our environment, such as soil and water pollution because of the use of fertilizers and pesticides. Okay, then second type, that is aquatic ecosystems. Aquatic ecosystems are the functional communities of plants and animals that are well adapted to grow or live in water. The nature of an aquatic ecosystem is governed by the availability of food, oxygen, water, salinity, and the prevailing temperature. The shallow aquatic ecosystems generally tends to be most productive. The major threat to these ecosystems in water pollution, which extends the greatest pressure on ecosystems. Aquatic ecosystems are subdivided into the three types of types based on the water salinity, freshwater ecosystem, marine ecosystem, and serine ecosystems. Okay, thank you.